try to execute it. So anyways, we will see those programs also. Okay. So as of now in today's class, which is again the continuation of your module 1. So the agenda for today's class here is to know what is an infinite loop. Okay. Can anybody tell me which is definite loop?
For loop.
For loop.
For
For
loop.
loop.
Indefinite loop is your
While.
While loop.
okay. Now we have infinite loops also. So what are they? We'll also see them, and we will see two other control flow statements, right? Which is break and continue. So break and continue will also change the control flow of the program when they appear in your program. See, usually the control flow will be sequential, but the changes like skipping, jumping, right, and then choosing any one of them, so all those will change the control of my program. Two such statements, which is break and continue, also we'll see today's class, followed with certain programs which I'll execute, which you will have to try. Okay, can anybody just tell me what can be an infinite loop? The meaning, what is the meaning of the word infinite?
Which has no end.
Which has no end. Okay. So now, what is an infinite loop? An infinite loop is a loop which may execute, infinite number of times. Okay. Infinite number of times it keeps executing. So there is no finite count of time, right? It keeps executing where where the condition is never going to become false. So you don't have an option. So usually, either in your while or in the for, the condition has to become false to come out of the loop. But a loop wherein the condition can never become false will execute how many times? Infinite number of times. Okay, and such a loop we call it as an infinite loop. Fine. So for example, I will just give this code for you. Give me the answer, right? N equals to 1, which is a variable holding the value 1. And I give the condition here as while true. The while loop contains a condition which is my Boolean value true. So while true. Can anybody tell me, will this while loop terminate at any point of time?
No,
Will it
ma'am.
terminate? Student, no. It will not terminate at all, because you can see in the condition I have directly given my Boolean value, isn't it? Directly the Boolean value is given where there is no chance for us for the program to terminate. Okay, sorry, for the while loop to terminate. Next I'll give println. Okay, so my condition is true. My block of indented block of code, which I call it as clause, is println. Okay, containing println and n equals to n plus 1. So block of code is now, or the clause is now n print n plus 1. Okay. Then, can anybody now guess what will be the output? Execute this program.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. It prints only 1, 2, 3.
Goes
It's
on
on.
until n.
Goes on. It goes on. There's no end. Because you can see the condition is true. Never the condition gets an opportunity to become false. Isn't it? It keeps printing the numbers starting from 1. Next it prints 2. Next it prints 3. Goes on 4. Right? And it goes on. Continues. Right? There's no end to this. Suppose say you encounter such infinite loops in your program execution. Somehow you have to terminate, and you will have to just press Control C there. Okay, on your shell prompt. So if you press Control C, program terminates. But you can now see it is an infinite loop which I have written in my program. Okay, due to some reason, I would have, what do you tell, purposefully written such an infinite loop, or by mistake I would have written the infinite loop. But in programming, we can also get out from such infinite loops. So I can come out of such infinite loops by using another statement called as a break statement. Okay, so in programming, there's basically a shortcut to get the program execution break out of the while loops clause earlier. So either it can be in your infinite loop, okay, or purposefully you want to come out of the while loop before the condition becomes, what? Students. Either you want to terminate your infinite loop, or you want to come out of the while loop earlier before the condition becomes what?
False. False.
Becomes false. Either of the case. To deal with your infinite loops, we have break. Or somewhere when you program it, you want to come out of the while loop earlier before the condition becomes false. Yes, such a case, we now make use of a break statement. So whenever the program execution, right, sees a break statement, very simple as it is, when it sees a break statement, it immediately exits the while loops clause, right? In the while loop, wherever it sees a break statement, the control will immediately exit from your while loops clause and also terminates your while loop. Okay, so never bother. Whatever is below the break, it will not execute. It is similar to your brake of a vehicle. If you apply brake, what happens to your vehicle?
It stops.
Similarly here, the while loop also, inside the while loop. Okay, so when I'm talking about the break and continue, it comes inside the looping statements such as while and for. So inside any looping statement, if the program control sees the break, it immediately terminates the looping statement. Okay, so how do you write a break statement? Simple, it is just write the keyword break. Okay. Is that clear, students? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Let us see how does it work. So as I told you, very important, usually a simple question. Can you use break in if statement, they will ask. Or can you use break in if else if? Right? So just most of the time it is used in big statements. Okay, let us see how does it work. Let's look at this. While some test expression is there, so we have some codes written here. Can you see? The program control goes like this, one by one, but somewhere we have some condition here. If condition, some condition is checked. If this condition is true, the program control will see a break statement. Can you see here? What will happen when it sees the break statement?
It come out from the for
What will
loop.
happen? Comes out of the while loop or the for loop, whatever it is. Comes out of the looping construct and executes the codes which are outside the loop. It can be either the while loop or the for loop. Very simple. So you can observe here, see this arrow mark, you can see immediately it jumps, the control jumps to the code which is outside the while loop. Irrespective of whatever is which is below your break, that will not be executed. No, it comes out of the while loop immediately. It will not even wait for your expression to become false. No. Is that clear? Let us see the flow chart for the same. See here, the enter loop, you have the expression. If the expression is true, it will go to the clause, right? It will go to the clause. In the clause, if you encounter any statement, what statement? In the clause, what should you enter? Is what, ma? The break Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So you can now see here that anytime in the clause, if I encounter a break, it will exit from the loop. Very simple. If I don't encounter the break, it will continue with the remaining body of the loop. You can see here. No, there's no break, right? Suppose I say, if this condition was evaluated to false, what will happen? Will it break out of the loop? If this condition was evaluated to be as false, will it break out of the loop or it will continue the loop? Can you answer me? Suppose say if this condition was evaluated to true, it will enter the clause, it finds that it is having break, it will come out of the while loop. If this condition was evaluated to false, so what happens?
Comes out of the loop, ma'am.
It directly comes out of while loop.
No. If this condition was false, will it enter break? Will it see?
No, ma'am.
No. Then what?
No, ma'am.
Then what does it do? It will
Stops.
It will execute
Code
again.
inside the while loop, it will execute
Okay.
code inside
It will execute the code which is below to it and then continues with the looping till the condition becomes what? Till the test expression becomes what?
false.
False.
Right. So the flowchart just tells you that if the expression is true, it will enter the clause. In the clause, if you encounter the break, then it will exit. If not, it continues to execute the remaining body of the loop and goes back to the condition. Again goes back to the expression of the loop. Understanding? So this continues till the loop expression becomes false. If it becomes false, it will exit from the loop. Is that clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay. So remember
Yes, ma'am.
that break statement, as the keyword tells, come out of the loop. So whenever it sees a break, just simply comes out of the loop, irrespective of whatever sentences or whatever is the position there. Similarly, we have something called as a continue statement. Okay. What is a continue statement? Similarly to break, we use continue statements also inside the loops. What does this continue statement do? So when the program execution finds a continue statement, the program execution immediately jumps back to the beginning of the loop and re-evaluates the loop's condition. What does it do? It will not break out. Rather, what does it do is, whenever it sees the continue, Immediately it goes back to the beginning of the loop, checks the looping condition, wherein whatever statements are below to the continue will be now skipped. It will not be executed. It will not be executed. Okay. So let us see how does continue will work. See here. Can you see the syntax here for a test expression? Okay. Statement 1, something and all is there. Somewhere I find continue. Okay. So usually in your while loop as well as in the for loop, break and continue will come along always with the if statement. That's how programming will be there. Whenever it says that continue statement, will it execute statement 2 and other statements here?
No, ma'am.
No. Directly it will go to the beginning of the loop and executes the condition which is a part of your for loop. Yes. Similarly here in the while it says a continue somewhere, goes back to the top of the loop, executes the condition again. I mean to say evaluates the condition. Is that clear? Okay. Let us see the flow chart for the same. Can you just see? Again, enter the loop, test expression of the loop. You enter the body of the loop or clause of the loop. If you find continue statement anywhere, directly go back to the expression. Do not execute the remaining body of the loop which is below to continue. So you can see here, this will not be executed. No. Though this condition was true, I have reached here, but it will not execute this once it encounters continue. It just jumps back to the loop. If it does not encounter continue, no, I have still not found continue, it will execute the remaining part of the loop and again goes back to the condition. Yes, is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And if the condition becomes false, it will exit from the loop. Okay. Now just tell me, using break or using continue, which will abnormally terminate my loop? Which will terminate my loop abnormally? Abnormally means to say, before the condition becomes false, which statement will terminate my while loop? Sorry, yeah. It is break or continue.
Break, ma'am.
So you can see the break will discontinue my looping portion. It will not make the looping to continue. Alright? The keywords you should know: break, continue, break, break out, continue, go back to the beginning and do the rest of the job. That's what it means. Okay? So I have one single image here, picture, wherein you can see what happens if it is a break. See, the while clause has these many statements. Okay? If it finds a break, where does the control go? If it finds
Skips all the statements and
all
it went.
the statements, very simple, it will just go out of the while. Can you see? This is a statement which is outside the while. These are the statements which is inside the while. Clause. This is called as the clause. Is it dead? Yes or no, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it will immediately just jump out of the while, goes for the rest of the statement execution. What happens if it finds a continue?
It goes first to the
Back
while
to
and checks the
while
condition.
and check the expression. Very simple. Okay. See, this single thing will tell you what is break and continue. Very important. When you go for your placement, small questions you will fail to answer because you don't know what is break, what is continue. Isn't it? Okay. Very simple. See, green with the continue statement, what we can do? We can stop the current iteration and continue with the next iteration. Do you agree with the statement? Do you agree with the statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Stopping the current iteration, continuing the Next.
Next.
Yes, isn't it? See, already you were in one iteration here. You had started executing something, isn't it? But when you find continue, you stopped it. Went back to the next iteration. Yes or no? Are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, isn't it? What is break? If I have to give in a single line, what is break? Break terminates the loop execution. Obviously, it will stop the loop execution. Terminates when I tell, remember, break will abnormally terminate the loop execution. Very important. Abnormally means before the condition becomes false, break will be terminated. Sorry, the loop will be terminated. Are you getting? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us see some programs. I will give you some programs there. Give me the output. Let us see. Okay. Is the program visible? Yes. Just look at the program. Give me the output. Equals to 1. Okay. Just look at the condition. Look what I have used. Okay. And last line is this. Take 1 minute. Check what would be your answer. Okay. Can anybody guess the answer? Anyone? Just tell your name.
1, 2, 3.
One
Tell
time
me.
over.
1 second, 1 second. One person tell me your name and answer it.
Vandana, ma'am.
Vandana. Okay, from IS. Yes. Answer, ma.
1, 2, 3 and over, ma'am.
1, 2, 3 and over. Can you justify the answer?
Like initially I is equals to 1
Okay.
and it checks the while condition, while statement, while looping condition.
Yes.
1 is less than 6, so it
Yes.
prints 1
Yes.
and if statement, it enters into if statement. Like in the if statement condition become false and again
Where does the control go? Since the condition is false, does it? Where does?
no, ma'am.
Okay. Where does it go?
It goes, it come out of the loop, ma'am.
Huh? First only it will come out. I equals
No,
to.
ma'am.
You said this condition right now for one. Okay. This condition is false. Where does it go from here?
Again to the like over, ma'am.
Then how will it print 1, 2, 3 then?
Sorry, ma'am, I was confused. Like
No, you are right. You are not justifying the answer.
No, ma'am, it will go for I equal to I plus 1.
Because my entire class is this. Entire class. Vandana, you are right. Since I did not give the next click, 2 didn't come here. Okay. What happens when the first I is now what? 1. 1 double equals to 3. The condition becomes what? Vandana?
false, ma'am.
False. Okay. Where does the control go in that case?
It will execute the below state.
Below statement. Because I's clause is only break.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. If clause is only break. Okay. Tell me. Now what is the value of I?
2, ma'am.
2. Okay. Where does the control go?
It again went to the
Goes to
print
the.
I, ma'am.
Okay. Print I. Condition is true. 2 is less than 6. Yes. Print I. So it prints what?
2.
2. Okay. Next. Quick.
Again, if condition fails, ma'am, again it
Yes.
prints, it increments the I value
I.
and it
Yes.
prints I.
So again now, what is the value of I there? 3.
3, ma'am.
Is And 6.
Now the condition
Yes.
now condition becomes true. Again, it will
Yes.
execute the break statement.
Statement. Yes.
So it come out of the while loop and it prints over.
Yes, that's the answer. You were right. You got distracted in between. Okay, thank you, Anna. Okay, so you should see the indentation. See, this condition is true, only break will, there's an indent here, slight indent. Okay, only break gets executed. Fine. If it is false, it will move to the following statements, which is in my while clause. So you should observe the program correctly. Okay. Next program, just analyze. And who wants to answer with justification? Tell your name first and then tell me the. Okay. Someone wants to answer? Students? Huh? Nobody wants to answer. Come on.
Ma'am, 1, 2 and over.
1, 2 and over. I've used continue.
Up to 5.
1, 2. Take time, analyze.
1, 2, 4, 5 over.
1, 2, 4, 5 over. Who is it? May I know the name?
Nirmal.
Nirmal. Okay, justify Nirmal.
First, ma'am, since I is 0, then it will move to while condition.
Yes.
So it will check I 0 is less than 6.
Okay.
Then I will be incremented by 1.
Okay.
So the value of I will be 1.
Yes.
Then that I will be checked whether it is equal to 3 or not. So it is not equal to 3. So 1 will be printed.
Okay.
Then again I will be checked. 1 will be checked whether it is less than 6.
Okay.
So condition is true. Then again I will be incremented to 2.
Yes.
Again the if condition is false. So
Yes.
continue statement is skipped, and
Yes.
then 2 is printed.
Oh, good.
Then again condition is checked, 2 is less than 6, then I is incremented by 3.
Yes.
Over here the if condition is true, so continue statement is executed, because of which it will, instead of printing 3, it will move to the while condition.
Condition. Very good.
So the
Okay.
condition is true.
Yes. So when I becomes 3, it will enter the if clause where continue is present. So what happens when continue is there? It will skip the below statements, jumps to the looping expression. Yes or no? So it will not print 3. Next, what does it print, Nirmal? Nirmal?
Next, yes ma'am. Next,
Yes.
it will check for 3. Then
Yes.
condition 3 is correct. Then I is
Yes.
incremented to 4. So
Yes.
again, the if condition is false. So 4 is printed. Then
Yes.
4 is checked. 4 is in while condition true, incremented to 5. If condition is false, then 5 is printed. Then 6 is checked. The condition is false, and over is printed.
It prints 5. Doesn't print 6.
Yes, ma'am, it will print 6 also. Sorry.
6 also.
5
Yes.
is checked at 6.
Yes,
Then,
5 is less than 6, then it increments. So it prints 6.
yes,
then,
ma'am. And then over.
Okay, very good. Okay, so try to understand the logic and you should be very careful with the indentation, very important. Okay, see, like the small programs, they'll give you multiple choice answers. So you should identify what is the answer if you know how break and continue works. Very simple it is, but many of them fail to get through these concepts. Okay, so you should not have such problem. Fine. Let us say one more program. My program aim is, I want a program such that it keeps reading a value from the user. Okay, how many values I don't know. I want a value to be read from the user. Assume he reads, we are intended reading any number. Okay, it can be a floating point, positive or a negative number, whatever it is, until the user enters a negative number. Means to say, I should keep reading a value from the user till he enters a negative number. Okay. Now, first question, is this program having finite loop or infinite loop? Someone can tell.
Infinite.
Infinite. Why? Because I'm not telling you read n values, read 10 values. No, I'm telling you keep reading values from the user until the user enters a negative number. So I should keep reading the value from the user, but when the user enters negative number, what should I do? What should the program do? Should it accept the value or should it stop from the user? It should
Stop.
stop accepting the value from the user. So the user can enter positive numbers only, but when the user enters a negative number, it has to stop. Okay. Which statement should I use? Continue or break? Which statement should I use, students?
Break.
Break. Let us see how. So you said me it is infinite loop and I should use break. So let us see the coding portion. Fine. How do you write infinite loop? While true, finish. That means it is an infinite loop which never ends. Okay. What is the clause for this while, students? Infinitely, I should read a value from what? From the student
User.
user. So what is the next indented block of code? The first statement in baratte. Input function. So ask the user to enter a number. X is equal to input, enter a number. So the user has to now enter a number. And that number will be stored where? In
X.
X. Now, what should I do? I asked one question, should I use break and continue? You said break. Only break is used or should I use both?
Both.
Both. Why? When should I use break? Now tell me cleverly, when should I use break?
When negative number is identified.
Fine. Yes. So may I know the name? Because names are not visible here. May I know who told that statement? No. Stopped. Okay. So when should I use continue?
When positive number is entered.
Is used. Okay. Or is encountered. So cleverly you should now identify. Tell me what should I use next? Next statement in Barivignam.
If x is greater than 0.
0. So positive numbers equal to 0. I can enter even 0, no problem. If x is greater than or equal to 0, what does it mean? X is now being entered by the user is what kind of a number?
Positive.
Positive number.
So if it is a positive number, I should allow the user to enter the values. So what should I write here?
Continue.
Continue.
So I will print something. Print, you have entered some value x, then else, okay,
Break.
then break.
Break.
Okay. So otherwise you could have also written here continue there. Okay. So else print, you have entered a negative number. Can you see what did I write there? Can you see what
Break.
I write there? Break. So I will just print that he has entered a negative number. Okay. Then break. So when I find that he has entered a negative number, simply terminate the loop. Is that clear? So you could have also used here continue. No problem. Print, you have entered x, then continue. Continue means again it would have gone there. Since I have used if else, so definitely the control will go to condition. Yes, so you can avoid continue here writing. You can write, you may not write. Doesn't make difference. Is it clear? Is it clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. The next one.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma. Tell me.
Ma'am, instead of giving the if condition as x greater than equal to 0, we can
Yes.
enter x less than equal to 0, and then we can give if clause as break.
Yes, you can give. Yes, you can give. If x is less than 0, not equal to 0, a negative number, right? Less than 0, break. You can give, not a problem. But make sure you give the print statements appropriately. That also you can do, no problem. You can do it.
Okay, ma'am.
The next program, just I am not giving you the aim. You should identify the aim now. What is the program doing? That is also one of your tasks in your placements. They'll give you a snippet of code, ask you what it is doing. Okay, you should be able to identify. Okay, whenever you see this, what kind of a loop is that?
Infinite loop.
Finite loop. Just see what it is happening. Okay, till here, what information you got?
Accepting many
Values from the user. How many times? Any precise time? 10 times, 10, 20?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Next. What does this tell you?
To accept odd numbers.
No. It is checking whether the entered number is an odd number. Because
Odd number.
okay. If it is an odd number, what did I write?
Continue.
Now, till here, what knowledge you got? Till here,
The number is odd number. Should be
is odd.
It will take
okay. The program is now processing the numbers which are only
odd.
no odd. Odd is there. I am not doing only anything. I am simply going back to read the next number. So it is processing only what numbers?
Even numbers.
Numbers. Okay, let us see what it is doing with even numbers. So remember, odd iddaga adenu marta illa. Illi you can see. Continue. It simply goes back for this condition. It starts taking the numbers again. Okay. Let's see what it does. What it does. Sorry. Okay. Next. Else means when the entered number is an even. Okay. What am I doing? Till here, what is the aim of the program?
Sum of the even numbers.
Sum of the even numbers entered by the user in an infinite way. Okay, it's infinite. Do you think this will end? This program? No.
No,
Okay, but still I have given some code there. What is this doing? Count, any idea? What is count holding?
Number of the times.
Number of
Even numbers.
number of even numbers being entered by the user. Very good. What is this doing?
It checks if 5 even numbers are entered.
5 even numbers have been encountered or entered by the user. Okay. Now you can give me the aim of the program. That's the program.
It will add the first 5 even numbers it encounters.
5 numbers, 5 even numbers.
Okay. Fine. You are telling it will read how the values are read from the user? Infinitely, right? That you should tell. Keep reading the values from the user, then print what?
Sum of even numbers.
Sum of how many even numbers?
5.
5 even numbers. You can just see here. If it is an odd, don't do anything. Go back. Okay. But if it is an even, sum it, count, update ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. You have to update the number of even numbers that you have encountered, and then if at all, if you have encountered 5 even numbers, break. Where so if at all when count is equal to 5, it encounters break, where does the control go, students? Where does
Print statement.
print sum? Yes. If it is continue, where does it go?
While.
Very simple. Okay. So I'm just giving you the aim now. Program that actually it is that keeps reading, not to. Okay. Program that keeps reading what, ma? Numbers from the user and terminates when it computes sum of how many numbers? Sum of how many numbers? Even numbers. Very simple. Now, let me do one thing. One second. Say I will not include this code. These 2 lines are removed. What will happen?
Infinite output.
It keeps reading the numbers from the user. It summates, it counts. That's all. It goes on. At any point of time, will it print sum? No. It's an infinite loop. Are you getting, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. I have few programs for you to try. Okay. You can just try the programs here. Try it, but anyways, I will execute this program for you all. So write a program that reads n numbers from the user. N numbers. Okay. And computes the sum of the numbers that are divisible by 3. Okay. Can anybody tell me now, is this infinite loop or a finite loop?
Infinite.
Okay, I think then my program name is wrong. Reading n numbers.
Finite loop.
N should be read from the user, yeah. N numbers. If I ask, enter the value of n. If you give 5, the program has to read how many numbers?
5.
5 different numbers. That's what I mean to say. If at all the aim is wrong to you, try to identify that. That reads n numbers from the user. It's reading n value and that particular n numbers to be read from the user. So when you keep reading it, compute the sum of the numbers that are divisible by 3. Okay. Just tell me which statement is used here, break or continue? Any idea?
Break.
We use break.
Both break and continue.
Why? See, usually break we will use, it is an infinite loop.
Not required to use any of the.
Is it an infinite loop here?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay.
No, ma'am.
No, it's a finite loop. I want you also, someone told it not required, but I want you to use either break or continue. Okay. Just try to write the program for the same. Okay. Then write a program that keeps reading numbers from the user and terminates when it computes sum of 5 odd numbers. The same program what I gave here, it was what? 5 even numbers, but it should do the same for 5 what numbers?
Odd number.
Okay, you can just manipulate that. Okay. Write a program to calculate the sum of 10 numbers, again read from the user. So there is no n numbers. Okay. I should read how many numbers from the user again?
10 numbers.
Us. Okay. If the user enters a negative number, it should not be added to the result. Fine? Getting? So I have to find the sum of 10 numbers. But if the user enters a negative number, it should be not added to the result. Right? I think I have done this program. I'll just show it to you. Okay. Can you see the program, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think this is my first program. Okay. How many numbers you have to read? N numbers from the users. Right? Enter how many numbers to be entered. Okay. How many numbers there? I want to specifically use this constraint. Sum is equal to 0. See, you can see here, I have used for loop. You could have used even while loop there. No problem. Right? If you are using while loop properly, you should initialize and increment. Okay. So simpler terms I have written with respect to for I in range 1, n plus 1. So what is the numbers generated by range, students?
1 to n.
1 to n. So based on the value of n. So if I give n as 5, it will iterate over how many values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then I want 5 numbers to be read from the user. That's all. Next, read the number from the user. Yes. If the read number is not a multiple of 3, then continue. Go back. Go back to where? To the next iteration. Else, sum that, right? Are you getting, students? Are you understanding this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for you have to read the numbers. How many numbers? Based on n. So this many times you should iterate. X is equal to the number which is being read. If x mod 3, if the entered number is not multiple of 3, don't do anything. Simply go for reading the next number. Go to the next iteration. Else sum it. Right? And this is a finite loop. So when I complete, how many iterations I will be out of the loop? How many iterations?
N.
N iterations I will be out of the loop, printing the sum. Is that clear? Is that clear? Not required. Yes, you would have easily written here as if x mod 3 double equals to 0, sum plus is equal to x. Computed. But I want you to use break and continue in these programs. Okay? So that you know its usage. Let's see how it works. Okay. Enter how many numbers? Can you see there? Say I enter 5 numbers. First number I enter say 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. 5 numbers I entered. Can anybody guess what would be the answer of sum?
9.
9. is sum equals to 9. Is that clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Write a program to calculate sum of 10 numbers read from the user. If the user enters a negative number, it should not be added to the result. Okay. Okay, same thing. So I can manipulate now. I should read only how many numbers, students? 10 numbers.
And
Guess what is the range function now?
11. 1, comma 11.
1, comma 11. So he has to enter how many numbers? Just 10 numbers. Similarly, what's the condition here? What is the thing? If the user enters a negative number, it should not be added to the result. Okay, so what should I do here? If he enters
Less than 0, continue.
Less than
less than 0, don't do anything. Go back to reading the next number. Else, compute the sum of the positive numbers. Will this work? What should I do before using this? I should try sum, no? Yes or no, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us
Yes,
see where
ma'am.
it works. Okay, so enter how many numbers I should enter now? 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9. Let me give -1. What could be the answer? 9 into 10 divided by 2. N into n plus 1 by 2. What is the answer, students?
$45.
45. Why it is not 45? It should be 44, right?
It doesn't accept negative number.
Negative. So if we are not processing negative. If negative is there, go to the next iteration. That's what I have programmed it. Okay. Sum equals to 45. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Dear students, hope it is clear to you all. Okay. Any doubts as of now? Try doing this programs. Okay. Fine. Any queries?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Can I have one query for you all? Can we use else with looping statements? Usually
Yes,
else block we use with what statements? Else block yadr joteg baritive with what do we write it?
Condition.
Conditional. Okay. Now can we use else block with looping statements?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. In all programming languages. Have you used in C, C++, Java, anytime? Have you used it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You have used in C. Have you used in C, students? First time I'm hearing that you have used else block with while and for. Do while jote, for loop jote, else use madidira. Not I'm part of your class. No. Else, if else is part of your class, I understand. Have you used else block with while?
No, ma'am.
Okay, something like this. Have you used like this? With for and else block.
No, ma'am.
Not required.
So you are not, it is not used in C, it doesn't support. But whereas in Python, we can use else block even with looping statements. Okay, so how it has been utilized, how it works how the flow goes, we'll see in the next class. Any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll meet in the next class. Any doubts? No, ma?
No,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, then. Yeah, you can end the session. Thank you. See you in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.